I never thought I'd see the day when the Land Cruiser would cost less than $60,000 again. But here we are. I borrowed this 1958 from Karl Malone Toyota here in Draper, Utah. It is available for sale and it's rocking a lift with some big tires. Let's go ahead and check out the window sticker so you guys can see pricing and options on this build. At the very top is a description. You guys see the color is ice cap. This is a partial listing of the standard equipment. Be sure to pause it. And on this side is all the options. So it has the connected services for $485, door edge film for $95, and this does have the illuminated door sills for $360. Dash cam is $375, and here is destination and total price. Affiliate comment numbers are off to the side. And then here is the upfit. So this does have the 3.5-inch rough country suspension lift and KMC wheels, Toyo Open Country trail tires. It also has the ceramic window tint, and adjusted market value with total price is $74,119. So let's answer the question, what's better than a Land Cruiser? A lifted one. And this has proven my point 100%. This 1958 looks amazing. The only negative is the hard plastics, especially on the front end. It's just too much for me. I would like for them to just add another $1,000 to the price and just paint all this 100%. But you still get premium lighting on the front end. It says Land Cruiser right there. High and low beam LED, including these accent lights and fog lights. Front parking sensors. You have active grille shutters on the top part of the grille, and I like how they spell out the Toyota badge there. I want to say back in what, 94, 95 on the 80 series they went to just the emblem, and I was kind of sad by that for sure. Now here's a quick look at this suspension. Nothing exciting about this lift, I'll be honest. They just upgraded the upper control arm. It looks like it has a block to get the extra ride height, and it's just using the same shocks and coils basically. Fabric material for the liner, and then here are the tires. When I do upgrade the tires on my truck, I'm definitely going to get these. These are the Toyo Open Country RT Trails. These tires, I only rode through the city here. They are amazing. I am so excited to get new tires. I mean, who's excited to spend money on tires except for me? LT 295/70/18. And if you don't know, this is basically 34.3 inches tall, 11.6 inches wide. So it's a big tire. And I'm gonna do a quick MPG run in this video. So we're not gonna take too much time on this walk around. I just wanna show you guys around it real quickly. But here's the capacity, 4,080 pounds at 80 PSI. And you guys see the fender flares are finished in plastic. They do paint the door handles. More plastic on the mirrors. These are straight up off of the FJ Cruiser, by the way. Blind spot monitoring. You do have smart key system on the front doors. This would look good with some rock rails too, by the way. What do you guys think? I would probably even rock a black roof on this one. This is where you're gonna fill up at. Premium fuel. And they do give you upgraded shocks out back. Those are the rough country. And then I mentioned 3.5-inch lift. You do have a center and a rear locker on this one too. More hard plastic out back. And this one does have the LED taillights. You can open this. You can't get a third row seat on this either, which kind of stinks. This is not power. They do hide the hitch. More parking sensors. And some storage. I think most people who buy Land Cruiser probably don't even care to have, you know, a third row seat. The batteries on this side, 2,400 watts of power, tie downs. You can still see they give you some of the stuff that you would have on a third row passenger. My wife has an LX. And it's very similar to this for sure. Let's see if this has electronic pull close. Oh man, come on. Nope, you gotta slam it. Let's go ahead and take this thing for a ride. Let's go ahead and get down the road. I just reset the trip in the MPG. I'm actually really interested to see how this handles with the larger tires. and there's gonna be any road noise from the trails. But I already drove it around town today, so it does feel really good on the road. I think when you have more sidewall, you're always gonna have just a cushier ride. Full lock, there's no rubbing, and I'm pretty sure they chose the offset of the wheels, that way they wouldn't have that issue, especially for a truck built at the dealership. They always try to do it to where it's at least to factory spec as close as possible. When you hit bumps at like about 15 miles an hour, like when I drove back into the dealership today, there's a big clunk out back too on that rear axle, so you have to take it easy when you go up the bumps, for sure. Visibility is actually really good. These FJ Cruiser mirrors, they're tall. They're not wide, which is kind of a negative in my opinion. I like them to be a little bit wider, but it's not too bad. There's definitely some get up and go with this engine too, by the way. I think you will forget it's a 4-cylinder turbo till you hear it, obviously, right? We're going about 40 miles an hour. We're gonna go up on this on-ramp. I'm gonna give it about 40%, 50% throttle. Oh yeah, this thing handles so good. Turbo kicks on really fast. It gives you the 3 clicks for the turn signal stock too, so you can just tap it and it gives you 3. Yeah, you won't miss the 6 cylinders. You won't. I mean, this thing is too small for a V8 too. I mean, the 5.7 would have been too big for something like this. There's a little bit of road noise. Let's see. Let me get away from some of these trucks. I could be hearing their road noise. There's a little bit. It's not bad though. Honestly, like without the radio on, I could ride like this all day long. I think that you will probably not even notice the road noise really. I mean, this thing feels so good on the road. The steering wheel is nice and straight. People hate on these cheaper suspension systems, and I don't know why, because I've done the cheap ones too, and I find that they're fine. I mean, if you're not going crazy, this is kind of a little bit out of my spec of what I would lift, 3.5 inches. I probably would go all the way. I would get the new shocks. I would probably do a little bit more to make it, you know, handle better, obviously. But 3.5, I would say for this, they did upgrade the the upper control arm. But yeah, it handles great. The steering wheel is nice and straight. These tires, yeah, this is what I'm gonna get next. I love these tires. I'm just having a hard time with these mirrors though, for sure, I'll be honest. That's the only thing that's so far negative. Brake feel, oh yeah, brake feel feels good. You don't have to give it much effort, and it's not touchy, which is nice. I'm getting blocked by my little sibling, the Prius in front of me. I'm sure if you guys can see that. There's no body, oh never mind, I was gonna say there's no body roll. I just turned it a little bit. Yeah, there's some body roll. Yeah, it's there. It's still a Land Cruiser for sure. Yeah, this doesn't have the KDSS, doesn't have air suspension, so it rocks back and forth. And that's probably why I probably would, if you plan on adding a bunch of like aftermarket stuff, you're gonna have to upgrade the coils for sure. I would go a little stiff just so you have just enough, you know, load carrying on the suspension. But yeah, as I said, the brake feel is perfect. It feels like my wife's Lexus. Going around a curve at 30 miles an hour, it handles, I would say, fair. It's not good. It's not a good handling SUV. And I can say that because when I drive my wife's car, it feels more planted. It feels like it has more control. This leans a lot. But overall, visibility out the back window, you can see just using the rearview mirror. If I look back there, the headrests are a little tall, so that's kind of blocking your view. But overall, man, this is a really good SUV, guys. Like, I would strongly recommend you take a look at one of these and drive one. This does have multiple drive modes. You can see right here. I'm gonna show that to you really quickly. So right now, I'm in eco mode, but you have normal and sport. And you guys just saw what happened when I put it in sport mode. It literally just like, you know, it dropped down a gear. It does have lane keep assist, so if you try to steer out of the steering wheel, or out of the lane, excuse me, not out of the steering wheel will turn for you is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, you have a lot of those features. Adaptive cruise controls on here. Let's go ahead and turn on the cruise. You guys can see adaptive cruise. Let's go ahead and set it. Now, it does have like a autonomous driving, so you have to keep your hands on the steering wheel, but it will steer you and it will center you in the lane. Toyota's features are not that great in my opinion. I think that they need a lot of work. And I'm just speaking from experience because I own one. It doesn't work that great. I prefer to have, you know, maybe a GM Super Cruise. It's way better than that. I would say it's probably one of the best. So I think Toyota can use a little bit of work there. But overall, the steering feel in this thing is good. I feel as though most people, you know, who are looking for something different, this is a 250 series Land Cruiser, and it gets the job done. Like, I mean, it's really nice. I mean, this one's a little bit more expensive because of the lift, but if you want it done from the dealer, hey, it's already done. You don't have to pay out of pocket, and that's what some people want. They want all the stuff done, and that's what you're gonna get from this setup here. All right, I have to make a quick pit stop. I am thirsty. It is like really cold outside, and it's like 41 today. And so I just need a drink, and I got a free drink here at Panera Bread, so we're gonna go grab a green tea real quick, and then we'll finish off this test here. But let me just show you guys where we are. This will basically be the midpoint for this test. So let's go ahead and see where we are. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. 14.7, man. We gotta make up some ground here. 14.7. I was hoping this thing would be like closer to 18, 19, but we'll see where it ends off at. Inside the interior, the hard plastic continues. I have to admit to you guys, it's a lot of money for hard plastic, but if you gotta have a Land Cruiser, I get it. I would buy this despite all the hard plastic. I love this thing. Like, these seats are very nostalgic. I remember these from like the 90s. I've seen this before. Really cool how things kind of come back to you. You still have a tilt and telescoping steering wheel. They also give you a trailer brake, which my wife's Lexus don't even have that. Grab handle to get inside, and I will say it is a big step to get inside this lifted Land Cruiser. Here are the screens, steering wheel, dual climate control, heated seats, heated steering wheel buttons on this side. And you have all your USBs, a lot of like block off plates too. You have multiple drive modes, electronic parking brake, you have the hold function. And as I mentioned, you have that center lock and rear locker, high 4 and low 4, traction control. This is soft touch with that stitching. But yeah, this is definitely very similar to the GX, I would say, and the LX. You also have an auto dimming mirror with your home link on there. On this side, you still have that. And great headroom too without the sunroof. Here's the rear. They do provide 12-volt power back here. And you have your Type-C USBs. 3-zone climate control too, by the way. So that's nice. This is a cool SUV. These rear seats do recline. And you do have that armrest with some cup holders. And yeah, they still flip up. They give you this to step back to the non-existent third row seat. A little bit more storage in that rear too. Really nice. Wasn't expecting that. I walked into the restaurant to get my free drink, and like 3 people were like stopping to talk about this thing. Like, this thing is so popular. Really, the Land Cruiser name is popular. People love this thing. And I understand why. I mean, when I was a kid, this was actually my favorite car of all time. As a kid, I was 7 years old, and this was like my dream car, to get a Toyota Land Cruiser 80 series at the time, red. I like red cars back then. And this thing right here, it just has really nice presence on the road because of these larger wheels and tires too. Well, not larger wheels, 18s, but they're probably a little bit wider because of the tire. But for the most part, it does have a nice presence and people do like this nameplate. You can hear a little bit of turbo noises, by the way, with this engine. And I want to kind of go over the sound for it too. Now I will try to do a 0 to 60. I will admit, pretty good. 60, 162 at 60 miles an hour. There's a little bit of a howl from the tires. You probably can hear it. But yeah, my 0 to 60 timer is dead. And I turned it back off because I want to see if I can maybe just do one quick run, but no promises here. I can always redo these tests in the future comparing with something else anyway, so it's not a big deal if I don't get it in this video. But yeah, overall, I would buy one of these. I think that once I pay off my wife's car, I might consider getting either a sports car or getting one of these. Like, I like this better than a sports car. It just feels good. It feels good to sit a little bit high. The fuel economy though, my goodness. I am shocked by this, 15.6. And we were doing mostly highway up until we got to the restaurant. So I'm shocked by that. There's no 5.7 liter V8 under here. You're gonna have this 2.4 liter inline 4, thankfully is turbocharged. 323 horsepower, 465 pound-feet of torque. All that power goes to an 8-speed transmission, and you have a hybrid system. Let's see how it accelerates. All right, here we go.
30. 60.
Just pull back in. 16.5 MPG. Whew, that is rough. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. We drove 17.6 miles, about a 30-minute trip. So figure if you're leaving the house, going to run some errands, these 34s are gonna hurt you a little bit. Now, I'm willing to bet you if it was a little bit warmer outside, we probably would have got a little bit better. But yeah, 16.4 it's pretty bad. But as always, you gotta pay to play. Overall, I think that the Land Cruiser 250 series is a good attempt to bring back this nameplate. They brought it back cheaper, and I think a lot more people are going to be able to afford this. I don't like the fact that it doesn't have a third row seat, but apart from that, I mean, it's still a really good, spacious SUV. It has a lot of nice features, and if you don't get the lift and all the bigger wheels and tires, I mean, you can get this thing for under $60,000. There's still a shortage of them. I mean, you can't find them. And most of the ones coming to the dealership are sold. So you're gonna probably pay close to MSRP for the most part, unless you have a good relationship with the dealer. I definitely do like it. I would probably recommend this over a Jeep Grand Cherokee, you know, 5-passenger for sure. But I hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure your bell notifications are on. See you guys soon.